Can you unmute yourself, Aziz sir? Can you just check on that if you can?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, and can you, are you able to can you unmute yourself, Aziz sir? Can you just check on that if you can?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. I'm saying, can you can you switch on your video?
Yeah, nahi aa raha hai. I can't. It's saying that you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Okay, so let me just switch it on. 1 second.
Pehle to aa raha tha. I don't know.
No, it's on now.
Oh, is it? Yeah, okay.
All right, just in the interest of time, let's just kickstart. I think we are already 7-8 minutes up the time. So welcome, guys. Thank you very much for joining in, and we welcome you to the webinar wherein we would be discussing, I would say, all about US CPA. The intent of this webinar is that many of the folks have been reaching out to us and really wanting to know more and more about what is going to be happening in 2024 as far as the US CPA is concerned. And of course, considering that CPA is undergoing a change and things are really going to take shape in the coming years, how well is I would say we are prepared in terms of handling that. And of course, what all we can do to really support you out in the best possible way is something that we would like to share over here. But as we proceed and as we really take you through the entire content of CPA curriculum, what we really want to I would say uncover today, hold on to your thoughts. If there is any question that really comes onto your mind, because there is a lot that we'll be covering today. So if there is any question that really comes onto your mind, you can just put it onto the chat, and our team will be more than happy to pick it up, and of course try reaching out to you and resolving that in the best possible way. But before we really, start off and start the agenda, let me introduce myself, and I'll also introduce my colleague over here. My name is Pankaj Dhingra, and I'm a proud FinTrammer, and of course, it's a chartered accountant and a CPA by profession. I have been teaching CPA for last 2 decades, if I may say that. And of course, there are various things that we would want to I would say share on this ground in terms of what has worked well for the students in like past 20 years or so, wherein we have been talking to the students around the world. And guess what, guys? I have a special guest today. I have Mr. Aziz Tayyibi with us, and I will not try to introduce him. It is better that it comes from his own self in terms of about him, and of course what he's really up to and what all he's doing for the CPA folks around the world. I think it is all the more worthwhile that it comes from him. So over to you, Aziz sir. I think that will be a very relevant start.
Thanks, Pankaj. Good afternoon, everyone. Lovely to see you all. Thanks for joining the session today, and Pankaj, thanks on behalf of Becker for inviting me here today. Glad to be here. Always wonderful to talk about the opportunities that are there with CPA, and especially with our partners here in India, FinTram, an important partner for us. We choose our partners very carefully, and they have to be of a certain caliber and quality, and FinTram very much fit that boat. So everyone, you're in the right place here to learn more and more about CPA and the prospects, the opportunities you have, and most importantly, the best way to become a CPA. I won't spend too much time introducing myself. My name is Aziz Taibi, as Pankaj mentioned. I'm based in London, UK. I'm a chartered accountant from the UK, but I look after Becker's international business. And Becker is really, I guess, their bread and butter is about making you all CPAs in the fastest time. So we've been doing it for over 60 years. The most number of CPAs around the world become CPAs thanks to Becker. And thanks to their hard work, and thanks to people like Pankaj and FinTram. It's all of that combination, but there's a lot of people who trust Becker. There's good reasons behind it. Hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about that as well. But really, this is about you today. So please make sure that you ask the questions that are on your mind. You've got the best resources to help answer those questions. And if not today, then over time, this is big decisions for everyone. It's important for your careers as well. So I'm glad that you've taken the time out of your day to come here today. You've done the right choice, and I'm sure you'll make the right choices in the future, and we will help you make the right choices. But that's for me for now. Let's push on, Pankaj. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And, guys, you really have to understand the importance of this webinar, because if Aziz sir has taken out, his time out, for all of us, we should really take the best out of it, because it is really important. And, since he has been working not only with India per se, with various students around the globe, you can understand the kind of knowledge and the understanding and the expertise we would gain from him, with all experiences that he has had with various students around the world. So guys, do not lose on this opportunity. We have the gentleman here, and we should be spending good amount of time in asking the questions from him as much as possible. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining in. So guys, I'll just put up one, I just prepared few slides just to make sure that we have some rule to this madness, if I may say that, for the lack of a better word. I just wanted to ensure that we have give me a sec, I'll just open it up. All right, can you guys see my screen? Aziza, can you see the screen? All right, good. Guys, the intention, as I said, of this presentation, this webinar, is to understand anything and everything about US CPA. You may be having a good amount of doubts in your mind, because if anyone wants to pursue a qualification, there are various questions that really comes onto their mind in terms of, is this the best one? Is this the right one? Is this the one that will fit me the best? Is this what I really want to do? Like from year to 2 years to 3 years of time, where it's this gonna be taking me, and how I'm gonna be getting the return on my investment that I'm really putting onto this. And of course, there can be some more questions to it and some more perspectives to it. We'll certainly try touching upon various aspects to it. But what I really want to uncover today is the question that I just spoke on, that I just talk on. We'll try giving you answer to each and every concern that you may have in order to pursue a qualification like US CPA. So we'll be touching upon each and every aspect just to make sure that you, if not anything else, at least you'll be more knowledgeable after this session as far as US CPA is concerned. I'll quickly move on to the agenda in terms of what I really want to cover today. We certainly want to know more about US CPA as a qualification, so we'll deep dive on that. And of course, we'll touch upon how things are really changing from the 2024 standpoint, and what does that really means to you. We'll be talking on the eligibility criteria. हम इसके लिए eligible हैं या नहीं हैं, ये एक बहुत बड़ा सवाल रहता है, बहुत सारे बच्चों में होता है. So we'll talk on that in terms of how are you eligible for that, what would make you eligible, what is that you really need to do, and so on and so forth. So we'll touch upon that. And of course, we'll touch upon the US CPA curriculum. Sir, हमें पढ़ना क्या है? Sir, हमें करनी है qualification, हमने पहुंचना है, हमने सक्सेस लेनी है, सब कुछ ठीक है. बट सर, अब हमें ये तो बताओ कि हमें सब्जेक्ट कौन कौन से पढ़ने हैं, तो क्या क्या चीजें हमें पढ़नी है, और अगर वो चीजें हमें पढ़नी है तो सर वो पढ़ने के बाद हमारा एग्जाम कैसे होने वाला है, सर एग्जाम का पैटर्न कैसा होगा, किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, कैसे उन्हें आंसर करना होता है, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. सर वो चीजें नहीं पता होंगी तो सर मैं सक्सेसफुल कैसे होऊंगा? Absolutely. So we'll be covering that in detail, in depth, just to make sure that we are not missing on to that. अच्छा सर आपने सब कुछ समझा देना है, आपने समझा देना है करिकुलम, आपने समझा देना है एग्जाम पैटर्न, सब कुछ समझ में आ जाएगा, बट सर मेरी जेब से पैसे कितने जाने वाले हैं, सर मेरे पेरेंट्स राजी कैसे होंगे, सर मैं कैसे I will take on take on this load onto my pocket and so on so forth, सर फीस क्या होने वाली है. We'll talk on that too. Just to give you an insight, हम उस पे भी बात करेंगे. And there is an outstanding scholarship that is waiting for all of the folks who are really want to pursuing CPA. We'll talk on that too in a while. अच्छा सर ये तो हम समझे, बट सर ये बेकर क्या है, ये FinTram क्या है, how what is that we will get out of them, why Becker, why FinTram, sir, throw some light on that in terms of what would work well for us, what is right fit, and what is that we should be thinking about when we're really taking this decision and so on and so forth. So हम उस बारे में भी बात करेंगे, just to make sure that we have the complete holistic view of taking the right decision for ourselves. We'll talk on that too. And towards the end, icing on the cake is, guys, icing on the cake is that we will talk on the doubts that you may have. तो हम बहुत सारे डिस्कशन करेंगे, बहुत सारे Q&A पे बात करेंगे, आंसर देने की कोशिश करेंगे जो भी आपके डाउट्स हैं, and so on and so forth. And that is what we intend to cover today. है ना एक बहुत ही fruitful और holistic agenda. Aziz sir, how about, what do you say about it? Isn't that very holistic?
Well, I don't know how, is it the whole weekend we have or just 1 hour?
we have to cover it in 60 minutes. All right. Good. So guys, we'll start off with US CPA. अच्छा CPA के बारे में ना काफी सारी confusions भी होती हैं और काफी सारा doubt भी मन में आता है that what is this is gonna be all about. तो हम थोड़ा सा ना layman's terms में बात करेंगे. And we'll go as layman's as possible, guys. जैसे आप Indian कॉन्टेक्स्ट में एक सीए की बात करते हैं, एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट की बात करते हैं, ऐसे ही यूएस में जो सीपीए होता है वो वहां का चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट होता है. सो इफेक्टिवली सीपीए इज अ क्वालिफिकेशन व्हिच इज वेरी वेल कंपेयर्ड और आई वुड से वेरी वेल सिमिलर टू व्हाट वी हैव एज चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स इन इंडिया. बट फर्क सिर्फ ये है, सीए आप इंडिया में बनते हैं और सीपीए आप यूएस में बनते हैं. सीए के पेपर्स आप इंडिया में देते हैं, सीपीए के पेपर भी आप इंडिया में दे सकते हैं और यहां बैठे ही आप सीपीए यूएस की क्वालिफाई कर सकते हैं. सो इफेक्टिवली इफ आई रियली हैव टू टेल यू व्हाट यूएस सीपीए इज, तो यूएस सीपीए यूएस का चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है जो वहां की फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को बना सकता है, टैक्स रिटर्न फाइल कर सकता है, ऑडिट कर सकता है, वहां किसी कंपनी में भी जॉब कर सकता है, बिग फोर्स में भी जा सकता है. एंड क्योंकि यूएस की आउटरीच बहुत ही ज्यादा है, बिकॉज most of the companies have somewhat relationship with US, तो इसकी जो एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी है यूएस सीपीए एज ए प्रोफेशन की वो बहुत ही ज्यादा है, क्योंकि आप बहुत सारी कंट्रीज में जो यूएस की कंपनीज की एग्जिस्टेंस है या फिर जो उनकी लोकल कंपनीज भी होती हैं जो यूएस से डील कर रही होती हैं ये यूएस में लिस्टेड होती हैं, उन कंपनीज में भी यूएस सीपीए क्वालिफिकेशन की डिमांड होती है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स दे नीड पीपल हु हैज दिस क्वालिफिकेशन टू बी हायर्ड बाय देम. That is in nutshell, guys, what CPA qualification is all about. यही एक बेसिक मंत्र है जो हमें पता होना चाहिए, to know as to what CPA qualification is. मैं अगर एक पर्सपेक्टिव आपको दूं बेटा कि if you really have to take a context, and I keep hearing this from various folks कि बेटा नहीं बोलना, that's not a right thing to be spoken out. But guys, let me tell you, this I don't say it intentionally. It comes by default. And I can tell you, I was talking to one of the, and Aziz, you should know this, I was talking to one of the lady, and the lady was elder to me, in terms of my age, and she was the student doing CPA in the class. And by default, it came across as, beta, please know this. And she was looking at me like this, and I'm not anymore a beta. But you know what? She took it very positively that, this is what it is. And this is what, a student should be looking upon. Because when you're looking upon as a faculty, you should not be thinking about the age. You should be thinking about the content that he really brings onto the table. And if you can learn something from it, then you are certainly a beta. And guys, that is the reason you're beta for us. That is the reason, you'll keep, listening this from me. And please don't take it as an offense. It comes very naturally. Guys, हम यूएस सीपीए की अगर बात करेंगे तो यूएस सीपीए 2 पिलर्स पे खड़ा है. दो पिलर्स क्या होने वाले हैं, मुझे एक जगह अकाउंटिंग सीखनी है, मुझे फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग सीखनी है. सो व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट एंड रेलेवेंट ओवर देयर इज कि क्योंकि मुझे यूएस के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में उनकी अकाउंटिंग सीखनी है और उनका रिपोर्टिंग सीखना है, तो मुझे यूएस के अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड पता होने चाहिए. इसीलिए यूएस सीपीए बेस्ड होता है यूएस के जनरली एक्सेप्टेड अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स या अकाउंटिंग प्रिंसिपल्स के ऊपर, जिसे हम यूएस गैप कहते हैं. ऑन द सेम साइड, क्योंकि ये प्रोफेशन एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट का प्रोफेशन है, तो आप फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग अकाउंटिंग तो सीखते ही हैं, आप ऑडिटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स भी सीखते हैं, आपको ऑडिट भी करना होता है. एंड दैट इज वन ऑफ द बिग पिलर दैट दिस हैज, बिकॉज यू विल बी स्टडीइंग द US generally accepted auditing standards. Again, very important guys that we should know that we'll be learning both the pillars in detail in this curriculum. हम US के गैप भी समझेंगे और गैस को भी समझेंगे, ताकि हम बिल्कुल प्रिपेयर हो सकें to handle any of the roles that really comes your way. Like you have Indian accounting standard or Ind AS or Indian auditing standards. In US, they have their own auditing and reporting standards, and that is what we'll be learning over there. Imperative and important piece to know here is that there are some similarities, if not all, in terms of what you would have learned, but कुछ जो differential elements होने वाले हैं उनको हमें बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ना होगा in order to crack this exam in the best possible way. And सर एक तो चीज आप भूल ही गए, एक और भी चीज है जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होगी यहाँ पे, which is what is taxation. मैं रिपोर्टिंग सीखूंगा, मैं ऑडिटिंग सीखूंगा और मैं टैक्सेशन भी सीखूंगा, तो मैं बहुत सारे यूएस के टैक्स लॉस को सीखने वाला हूँ, टैक्स नॉर्म्स को सीखने वाला हूँ, मैं समझने वाला हूँ वहां पे लोकल न्यूएंसेस क्या होते हैं, किस तरह के टैक्स स्ट्रक्चर होते हैं, किस तरह की टैक्स एंटिटीज होती हैं, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. सो आई बी लर्निंग ऑल ऑफ दैट टू मेक श्योर दैट यू गेट द पर्सपेक्टिव एज टू हाउ द यूएस टैक्सेशन रियली वर्क्स. ये हम सारा कुछ यूएस सीपीए एज ए करिकुलम में पढ़ते हैं, एंड दैट इज व्हाट ऑल अबाउट द करिकुलम ऑफ यूएस सीपीए. अब हम डिटेल में चलते हैं in terms of if you really have to think about the kind of US CPA as a curriculum, where would you start off, start this off, and what all things that you really need to cover. You'll start off with, of course, doing your first eligibility check in terms of am I eligible for this or not. And of course FinTram really helps you out on that. So we have free eligibility check available for all of the students. आप अपना free eligibility check FinTram से कभी भी करवा सकते हैं. You can reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to help you in terms of how would this help you in terms of knowing that are you eligible for for pursuing US CPA or not. And we'll come on to eligibility in a while. Once you have done your eligibility, then you'll move on to evaluation. US CPA is being governed by the the AICPA, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and they have appointed a specific agency to work through the evaluation process. क्योंकि बहुत सारे international students आते हैं इसको करने के लिए, तो उनके credentials को evaluate करना पड़ता है कि आप उनकी जो basic minimum requirement है उसको fulfill करते हैं नहीं करते हैं. So everyone has to go through the evaluation in terms of you being eligible for writing the exam. So evaluation is a process, and FinTram as an exclusive service for evaluation, wherein we can support you out in terms of you getting yourself evaluated by the respective authorities to make sure that you have all that what you really need to get the NTS to sit for the exam. अच्छा जी, चलो सर एलिजिबिलिटी समझ लिया, इवैल्यूएशन समझ लिया, अब आते हैं बेटा प्रिपरेशन पे. अब सबसे पहला अगर एग्जाम देना है तो मुझे प्रिपेयर तो होना ही पड़ेगा, राइट? सो यू हैव टू रियली start your preparation done in terms of knowing the subject, having the understanding as to what the subject is all about. What all you really need to know is that मुझे subject पता होने चाहिए, मुझे उस subject की deep dive चाहिए. All is that all of that is something that FinTram really covers that end to end in terms of knowing that I would say it's from the scratch to the top to really be eligible for sitting out for the exam. प्रिपरेशन भी हो गया सर, एलिजिबिलिटी समझ ली सर, इवैल्यूएशन करवा लिया, प्रिपरेशन भी कर लिया, अब आते हैं एग्जामिनेशन पे. फटाफट से एग्जाम दे डालेंगे एंड फटाफट से क्लियर करके पंकज सर को कॉफी पे बुलाएंगे एंड उनके साथ एक बहुत अच्छी सी कॉफी पियेंगे टू सिटिंग आउट इन सम वेरी नाइस कैफे. एंड दैट इज व्हाट स्टेप 6 इज नॉट हियर, बट स्टेप 6 वही है बच्चा कि आपको मुझे कॉफी पिलानी है इन टर्म्स ऑफ आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग ऑल ऑफ दीस 5 स्टेप्स. दैट एलिजिबिलिटी हो गया, इवैल्यूएशन हो गया, प्रिपरेशन हो गया, एग्जामिनेशन हो गया. And once you have done the examination, you will apply for the license if you really want to work in US or और practice in US, you'll apply for the license. और अगर नहीं करना है तो of course you have the qualification after the examination and you can be part of any organization right over here in India, like what I did. Because when I did my CPA, I kept working with Wipro at that point in time, moved on to BlackRock, and of course then moved on to BCG, and I was heading their finance for a long time. Is that clear, guys? Yes, sir. अब आते हैं हम एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया पे। सर मैं एलिजिबल हूं या नहीं हूं? अच्छा, हम ना बहुत सारी बातें इसमें सुनते हैं, राइट? वी हियर सर क्रेडिट्स, इतने क्रेडिट्स चाहिए, उतने क्रेडिट्स चाहिए, सर अकाउंटिंग में इतना पढ़ना है, इतने क्रेडिट्स अकाउंटिंग में चाहिए, इतने नहीं चाहिए, कितना होगा, मैं कैसे एलिजिबल होऊंगा, कैसे नहीं होगा, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ। हम इस स्लाइड को बेटा पढ़ेंगे ही नहीं। दिस स्लाइड इज नॉट रिलेवेंट फॉर अस। वी विल ओनली से इफ यू आर ए बीकॉम and an MCOM, you are straight away qualified to sit for the exam. And if you're a BCom BCom and you have done your CA, let's say आपने CA इंटर किया हुआ है या आपने CA फाइनल भी किया हुआ है, दोनों केसेस में आप एलिजिबल हो जाते हो। तो BCom plus CA इंटर या BCom plus CA फाइनल, both of them are eligible for sitting for the CPA exam. सर मैंने BCom के साथ MBA किया हुआ है, you are eligible for sitting out in the CPA exam. सर मैंने BCom के साथ MCom किया हुआ है, you are again eligible for sitting out for the CPA exam. सर मैंने सिर्फ BCom किया हुआ है, अब मैं एलिजिबल हूं to sit for the CPA exam? बहुत बड़ा सवाल है। और बहुत सारे बच्चे आते हैं जो who want to ask in terms of will I be eligible, what all I really need to do, and of course if I'm only BCom. If I really go by what the AICPA really says or NASBA really says, if you're only BCom, then you need one additional year of qualification to be eligible for sitting out for the US CPA exam. But they've given an exemption. अगर आप किसी NAC A यूनिवर्सिटी से आपने ग्रेजुएशन किया हुआ है, 3 year ग्रेजुएशन, और आपकी फर्स्ट डिवीजन है, तो आप फिर भी एलिजिबल हो जाते हो टू सिट फॉर द US CPA एग्जाम. एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन रियली स्कैन थ्रू, दैट इज द रीजन वी डू द प्री चेक एंड प्री एलिजिबिलिटी. यू कैन रीच आउट टू अस विद योर क्रेडेंशियल्स एंड वी कैन टेल यू कि आपको क्या एडिशनल करना पड़ेगा. बिकॉज अगर आपने सिर्फ बीकॉम किया हुआ है और आपकी फर्स्ट डिवीजन नहीं है, या आपकी फर्स्ट डिवीजन है बट आपने NAC A से नहीं किया है किसी भी कारण से, फिर भी आप एलिजिबल हो सकते हो. देयर इज अ ब्रिज कोर्स दैट वी रन थ्रू. वी कैन हेल्प यू आउट इन टर्म्स ऑफ गेटिंग एनरोल्ड फॉर दैट, एंड दैट कैन रन साइमल्टेनियसली एंड यू कैन स्टार्ट प्रिपरेशन ऑफ योर CPA curriculum right from day one. So you can reach out to us, guys. We can really help you out in that and really tell you in terms of how would that work for you. एलिजिबिलिटी की चिंता बिल्कुल भी नहीं करनी है, वो हम पे छोड़ देना है. विल टेल यू इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट इज दैट गोना बी. अगर आप एलिजिबल नहीं भी होंगे तो आपको क्या रास्ता लेना है, वी विल आल्सो टेल यू दैट, एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी विल सपोर्ट यू इन दैट इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट इज दैट गोना बी फॉर योरसेल्फ. इज दैट क्लियर, गाइस? यस सर. अच्छा सर, एलिजिबिलिटी समझ ली. सर आप थोड़ा सा सब्जेक्ट्स के बारे में बता दो कि सर मैंने पढ़ाई कहाँ कहाँ करनी है, किस किस चीज़ की पढ़ाई करनी है. सर मैंने तो बीकॉम की है, मैंने CA की है, तो मुझे बहुत सारी चीज़ें पता होंगी, तो मुझे सर थोड़ा सा समझाओगे तो आई कैन कोरिलेट ना कि मैंने क्या क्या किया हुआ है और क्या क्या मुझे और करना है. तो चलो लेट्स गो देयर. We'll start off with first subject, and again कोई सीक्वेंसिंग नहीं होती है CPA में, बट वी आर जस्ट स्टार्टिंग ऑफ विद ऑडिट. सबसे पहला सब्जेक्ट है ऑडिट एंड अटेस्टेशन. हमने ऑडिट इंडिया में भी किया है, अपने बीकॉम में भी किया है, एमकॉम में भी किया है, MBA में भी किया है, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. हम वही ऑडिट पढ़ने वाले हैं, बट हम US कॉन्टेक्स्ट में पढ़ेंगे. हम पढ़ेंगे US जनरली एक्सेप्टेड ऑडिटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स ओवर हियर. सो विल बी लर्निंग कि क्या ऑडिट US कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कैसे कंडक्ट करना होता है, किस तरह की ऑडिट रिपोर्ट्स चाहिए होती हैं, ऑडिट रिपोर्ट्स में किस तरह का ध्यान रखना होता है, क्या कॉन्टेक्स्ट होता है, क्या कंटेंट होता है, किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आप कब कौन सी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट इशू करते हो, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. सो दैट इज व्हाट यू विल बी लर्निंग इन ऑडिट एंड अटेस्टेशन पर से. सेकंड सब्जेक्ट पे चलते हैं सर. अब फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग एंड रिपोर्टिंग क्या होता है. ये तो बच्चे सबसे हमारा बेसिक ब्रेड एंड बटर है ना. हमने अकाउंटिंग तो क्लास 11 से ही शुरू कर दी थी. क्लास 11 में हमने अकाउंटिंग करी, 12th में करी, बीकॉम में करी, और आगे आपने जो भी सब्जेक्ट किए होंगे उसमें करी होंगी. यहाँ भी हम वही बेसिक अकाउंटिंग एंड रिपोर्टिंग पढ़ने वाले हैं, बट इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ US as a country. So we'll be learning US generally accepted accounting principles. So we'll be learning the US accounting standards. Financial statement कैसे वहां बनती हैं, क्या उसका पार्ट होता है, क्या क्या चीजें उसके अंदर आती हैं, कैसे मुझे यूएस गैप डिफरेंट दिखता है आईएफआरएस से या इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड से. That is what we'll be learning over here to make sure that you are able to, of course, capitalize that in the best possible way. सर रेगुलेशन क्या है सर? अब ये तो एक नया नाम आया सर, रेगुलेशन हमने आज तक सुना ही नहीं था. सुना है भाई, बस नाम डिफरेंट है, राम और श्याम, राइट? राम हमने सुना हुआ है, श्याम इज डिफरेंट, राइट? वी हैव ऑलवेज हर्ड टैक्सेशन, राइट? तो रेगुलेशन इज नथिंग बट द टैक्सेशन. हम यूएस टैक्सेस सीखेंगे, हम उनकी एथिक्स सीखेंगे, टैक्स प्रिपेयरर्स या टैक्स फाइलर्स की प्रोफेशनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी समझेंगे, किस तरह के टैक्स स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं, कौन सी टैक्स एंटिटीज होते हैं, कौन से एसएससीज होते हैं, एंड ऑफ कोर्स वहां के टैक्स प्रोसीजर्स क्या होते हैं. ये सारी चीज हम रेगुलेशन में समझने वाले हैं, जस्ट टू गिव अस एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हाँ टैक्स यूएस में कैसे लगता है. ये तीनों सब्जेक्ट जो मैंने ऑडिट की बात करी बेटा, फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग की करी या मैंने रेगुलेशन करी, ऑल दीज थ्री सब्जेक्ट्स आर कोर सब्जेक्ट्स. सबको ये 3 एग्जाम्स देने हैं. There is no one who can run away from these 3 एग्जाम्स. ये 3 एग्जाम्स मैंडेटरी एग्जाम है, कोर एग्जाम है, सबको देने. इसके अलावा 3 एग्जाम ऐसे हैं जो डिसिप्लिन एग्जाम है, जिसमें से एक देना होता है. एंड यू हैव ए ऑप्शन टू चूज व्हिच वन यू वांट टू गिव. यू हैव बिजनेस एनालिसिस एंड रिपोर्टिंग, जो कि आई वुड से इज अ लॉजिकल एक्सटेंशन ऑफ फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग एंड रिपोर्टिंग. तो हम आई वुड से हायर एंड ऑफ अकाउंटिंग सीखेंगे इन बिजनेस एनालिसिस एंड रिपोर्टिंग. The next subject is tax compliance and planning, the TCP. Tax and compliance and planning is, I would say, is big brother of regulation from all practical purposes. So you'll be learning the higher end of taxes, tax planning per se, or tax compliances per se, in the TCP as a subject. And then the third one is ISC, the Information System and Control. The name says it's all that we'll be learning the information systems as far as they're very applicable to the finance, to the curriculum, to the industry at large. We'll be learning the cyber acts, the cyber securities, the cyber frauds, and so on and so forth. We'll be learning all of those kind of things in this, and what kind of controls you really need to have from the financial I would say controller or a CFO standpoint. What all things that you really need to have over there is something that we'll be learning in the ISC. इन 3 सब्जेक्ट में से एक सब्जेक्ट चूज करना होता है, एंड यू हैव टू गिव दैट एग्जाम, बिकॉज टोटल में तो सिर्फ 4 ही एग्जाम है यूएस सीपीए में, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इट इज. Aziz sir, do you want to add anything if I missed on? I'm sorry.
No, in terms of that explanation, also on the eligibility side as well. देखो क्या है कि डरने के नहीं है. I know the eligibility का जो होता है दिमाग में आता है सबका, but the point is you put your hands and your faith in the FinTram team, let them know your exact qualifications, transcripts, they will do all the hard work for you. And the point that it's there, I just want to emphasize this one point. The reason why this eligibility criteria is there is to maintain standards. This is why the US CPA qualification is so well recognized and people pay a good premium for a US CPA because they know the standard. Ek standard se niche aayi ho hi nahi sakta. So that is something for you to remember, nothing for you to fear, but instead to be proud of, that you would guarantee that you're a certain standard, people know that you're of this standard, that's why you're there. So ye bhi bahut zaruri hai. And curriculum wise, I want to add one thing. This change has happened with these new discipline subjects, how they've adapted the other core subjects, is because they have looked to see what is in demand for professional finance and accountants across the world. And they want to make sure that you are recognized for not only your knowledge, but the skills you're getting. So IT ka hai, data analytics, all these things are now embedded, incorporated within the qualification itself to make sure that you are in high demand. So remember that. And that's very important because most professional qualifications have to look at their curriculum and syllabus all the time. US CPA has made a real big impact. I shouldn't really say this. It's also probably made some of those core subjects less complicated. They've taken things out from there, moved it around. So actually it's a really good time to kind of think about CPA exam. FAR, for example, I think it's like almost 65, 70% of what it used to be. It was probably the toughest one, right, Pankaj?
Yeah.
The biggest one by a long way. Now it's suddenly become a really good manageable size. And it means all four of them are around the same manageable size.
Completely agree.
Anyway, you don't need to worry too much about that, other than I think it's probably a little bit easier now, Pankaj, compared to the good old days when you had to do it.
Oh yes, by all means. And guys, हम लोगों ने जब पेपर दिया तो we have to go to US. And that point in time थोड़ा पेन एंड पेपर की फॉर्म में भी एग्जाम होता था. अब तो it is a computer based exam, like long time. Everything that you need to do is on computer. And of course, now exam happens in India. So up, wherever you are, you would find a near center that really conducts the exam, and of course go and sit out there and give the exam and get it over. And the slide that you see over here is one of the reasons, why we really want to call out that, how is CPA going to be looking from the 2024 standpoint? Because this is what is the recent change. These subjects are the latest ones that you really need to take care of. And as Aziz rightly mentioned, the audit, the financial accounting and reporting, the regulation, all has been taken a relook now. And many of the areas that they wanted to take out, they have taken out, and of course made bar, TCP or ISC as such to ensure that, one, of course, it is relevant from the industry standpoint. Two, it is manageable from the student standpoint. And three, you get what you really need from the standpoint of knowledge, which is very well needed in the industry. So, they have really taken care of all of those parameters. And, kudos to AICPA, kudos to NASBA on this in terms of, what they have done. And many thanks to Beckers in terms of, really taking this up. And of course, taking it, I would say this to their stride and really converting their entire curriculum, entire LMS to ensure that, everything is updated, basis the current syllabus, basis the current need, so that students are really not taking any backseat and they're fully prepared to hit the exam in the best possible way. So kudos and many thanks to Aziz sir for that, and Becker as an organization to really making sure that, students are really taken on the front seat and, they get what they really need in order to clear the exam in the best possible way. मूविंग ऑन गाइस, एग्जाम का पैटर्न कैसा होने वाला? सर कंप्यूटर बेस्ड एग्जाम है, समझ में आ गया. इंडिया में एग्जाम देना है, समझ में आ गया. इन 4 सब्जेक्ट पे देना है, समझ में आ गया. एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर सर, बट एग्जाम कैसा आता है? Any and every exam that you see in CPA is 4-hour exam, जहां पे आपको multiple choice questions approximately 60-70% होते हैं और 30-40% आपका डिस्क्रिप्टिव एग्जाम होता है, जहां पे टास्क बेस्ड सिमुलेशंस बोलते हैं उन्हें हम, जहां पे केस आता है, उस केस के ऊपर बेस्ड आउट क्वेश्चंस होते हैं जो आपको आंसर करने होते हैं. सो 60% आई वुड से इज अप्रोक्सीमेटली मल्टीपल चॉइस, 40% इज टास्क बेस्ड सिमुलेशन, totaling out to 100 marks, and you have to get 75 to clear the exam, and each exam is of 4 hours. Do you want to add anything onto it, Aziz sir? I think if I have missed anything.
No, I think that's a fair point. I think I would just say that the other point I want to emphasize about the CPA exam is it is not testing just your rote knowledge. And this is important because it's developing skills, right? Your analytical skills, your application skills, how you're able to evaluate, which is what is in demand from employers, whether it's you're working for the big 4 firms, any major firm. I shouldn't say before, but any major accounting firm, or also all the multinationals. They're looking at your skills as well as your knowledge. And that's the beauty of how the CPA exam is structured. It's testing all of those things. You can't get away, ratta maar ke nahi ho payega. To ho hi nahi payega. I mean, there's certain things you have to have knowledge, right? You need to be able to take knowledge and bring it out, but it's really about your understanding. And that makes it even more important to get the right level of study and learning and education. Because you can't just learn that yourself, right? That's why you need that guidance and expert guidance from the likes of, obviously it's what Becker does. He's been doing it for 60 years. But more importantly, also your teachers, your guru, apan to bachche hi hai na, inke samne. But the guidance you'll get from the FinTram team around that, this is important. Exam technique. Exam technique is going to be a really, really important part of you passing that exam.
Completely agree. And guys, all of this is very well taken care in the curriculum, because you would be getting a hell lot of things in this regard, including the revision boot camps. We'll talk in a while in terms of what that really makes for you. We'll talk on that in a while. Now, why Becker FinTram? I think interestingly, what we really need to know is, and of course, if you have any doubt, I'm sure you would not, but if you have any question in relation to Becker, then, guys, Becker is somewhat a synonym of US CPA by all means. Think about this. I did my CPA almost 2 decades back. And even that point in time, Becker was there, and they were the best in terms of the content, in terms of the study material, in terms of, the reputation, in terms of history that they had, in terms of the pass rate that they really demonstrate, and so on and so forth. And that is why Becker is Becker. And that is the reason why you should be only and only thinking about Becker from the context standpoint. You have an excellent LMS available from Becker that is very much artificial intelligence based, that really takes care of you from the preparation standpoint. That effectively tells you that, how much you have done in terms of curriculum, how prepared you are, which area is lacking, which area you need to work for. And that effectively gives you hell lot of MCQs, hell lot of simulations to practice. And a lot of that content is something to be taken up from the past exams, which really helps you know how the exams really work. In fact, there is one column in the LMS that really specifically tells you that these are the recently given questions from the by the AICPA, because they share these kind of questions, and Becker really brings onto the table for the students to really know that AICPA is really issuing this. Please know this before you really sit for the exam. And that is the key, guys. I have been a Beckerite from the student standpoint, because I did Becker. I have been with Becker for the last 20 years in terms of teaching students around the globe. And now, when we are really delivering along with Becker, this curriculum, we take pride in saying this, that, what Becker really brings onto the table from the CPA standpoint, guys, you have to know this if you want to clear your CPA in the first attempt, period. Nothing more to be added, from my side. Aziz sir, tell me if I missed on anything.
No, I mean, देखो मैं तो Becker के लिए काम करता हूँ, so obviously I'm going to have certain views. Let me tell you something, and this is very important, right? You need to do your research. You're all smart, accounting, finance professionals. You're going to be CPAs next year. Hopefully, we'll be doing a celebratory session with all the CPAs from this.
Coffee, sir, coffee. We will be having coffee. We'll be having a coffee, right?
थोड़ा धूम से करो ना यार, coffee तो लेंगे. Anyway, the point is, you're all professionals. You need to think like professionals, do your research like professionals. Hopefully this is giving you some good information, good understanding of the CPA qualification, what you'll get from Becker, what you'll get from FinTram, but do your research. And let me just tell you, ultimately, and I've been in your shoes, right? We've all been in your shoes. Kya kare, kaise kare, ye sab cheeze jo hai. One of the things you're going to think about is return on investment, right? How fast can I get this done? How much do I have to pay? And then how much am I going to get paid, right? One of the most important things is, if you take some preparation course, there's a risk factor of whether you're going to succeed or not, right? And that's really what I want to tell you about Becker. You do your own research. Becker ke over 10 lakh people have studied with Becker. It's the most of any other qualification. People, I won't talk about percentages of market share. Majority of people who study for CPA around the world use Becker. They use it, simple reasons. One word, that's it, confidence. All of those people have done it before, are doing it now because they have confidence that I'm going to take this course, I'm going to get guided in the right way, and I'm going to be in a position to pass the exam as soon as possible and first time. That's what I'm sure you're all thinking, and you should be thinking if you're not. That's what this is all about. It is, let me be even more honest with you. We talked about curriculum jo hai, US GAAP, US GAS, all of these things. You should be doing this exam to get those 3 letters behind your name. That will advance your career. People will know automatically that you have certain knowledge, you have certain skills, you have certain discipline, you're hardworking, you're intelligent. So get those letters as fast as possible. That's what this is about. And 60 years se kar rahe Becker. 60 year, I'm sure I'm getting near 60 myself. But the thing about Becker compared to me is Becker is constantly evolving, using the best technology, using they're looking at learning methodologies, the latest thinking on learning methodologies. They know and understand what it takes for you and I to learn something, to be able to apply it and in an exam situation, stressful exam situation. That's what's making them successful. They make it easier for you. जितना भी मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी ना, सवाल ही नहीं है. But it's not an easy exam. ऐसा भी मत सोचना. But the point is, the thinking around how to make your studying the most effective and efficient has been done by probably the biggest stable of qualified instructors, subject matter experts, and CPAs. It's what Becker does. It's a simple, we don't do many things. We don't do 100 different things. US accounting is basically what Becker does. So you have faith in that. All of the major firms, corporations, US they put their money on Becker to help their staff pass first time. It's their money, right? Your money. Remember that. We want to make sure that you pass first time, pass quickly. All you need to do is take the guidance that is there within the Becker course and from your gurus at FinTram.
Absolutely. And guys, what
थोड़ा sacrifice तो करना पड़ेगा. थोड़ा तो time करना ही पड़ेगा ना. Because अगर आसान होता तो I would not be on this call. आप भी नहीं होते. Nobody would be interested if it's easy. It's not worth anything. But it is very, very achievable with the right guidance, a little bit of dedication. 1 year's time, think about this, 1 year's time, 12 months, 15 months max, you can be CPA and the world is your oyster.
And this is, somewhat somewhere you would certainly reckon this fact, guys, because when you will sit in your exam, and I felt the same, you would find that, many of the questions that you've practiced in the LMS, because LMS has thousands and thousands of questions, right? When you'll practice that and, when you'll sit for the exam, then आपको लगेगा कि हो ये तो मैंने देखा हुआ है, ये तो मैंने किया हुआ है. That is the feeling that you would have, and that is where you would reckon the fact in terms of what Becker and FinTram will bring onto the table in terms of how to really target that and of course hit that in the best possible way. And guys, एक बहुत बड़ा advantage है पता है जो CPA के साथ है, for having those 3 names with you. हम लोगों ने ना बात करी to start with कि Indian CA जैसे होती है, ऐसे CPA होती है and so on so forth. बट एक बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंशियल है बच्चा जो CPA को इंडियन CA से डिफरेंशिएट करता है, वो ये कि CPA में 4 एग्जाम है और चारों एक करके दे सकते हो, which is very much different in comparison to CA, जहाँ पे आपको चारों एग्जाम इकट्ठे देने होते हैं, चारों क्लियर करने होते हैं, किसी में सब में 40 लाने हैं, टोटल में 50 बनाने हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. तो जो मैं 4 सब्जेक्ट पे ध्यान लगाने वाला हूँ, if I put that on one exam, so my result is bound to go up, right? Because I'll be more prepared for that exam. And Aziza rightly mentioned, guys, you should have that at the back of your mind that this is not an easy exam. It's a professional course. It has to be tough. नहीं तो value नहीं रहेगा, नहीं तो corporate भी value नहीं करेगा कोई इसको. So it has to be tough. But with the kind of flexibility that you get in terms of clearing this, it becomes a hell lot easier for you, and you can clear this. But do not forget, and Aziz sir will smile on this, you have to die to be in the heaven, guys. You have to die. Because I keep saying that, and he always says me that, why do you want people to die? I don't want you guys to die, but you have to reach out to heaven, guys. Then you have to die for it. You really have to die for it. All right, guys, moving on to FinTram, I just wanted to give you a color in terms of, what FinTram really brings onto the table. FinTram is a leading platform, now I would say earlier it used to be in India, but now around the world in terms of, what FinTram really brings onto the table. We are the house of, global professional educators around the world and doing various qualification, including US CPA, CMA, ACCA, IFRS, and so on and so forth. And we all, we are also approved channel partners for Becker Professional Education, as I just mentioned, and Gold Approved Learning Partners for ACCA in London. We are delivering these qualifications day in and day out, and to various students and to the organizations like what you see on the screen. We are the preferred education partner for various business schools for giving CPA as a curriculum. So you would see that, we delivering CPA with XLRI, CPA with LIBA, CPA, curriculum with Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India in Ahmedabad, and we're also partnering with CIMP and so on and so forth. So we are the preferred partner for the CPA curriculum, just to make sure that their guys get the best content possible. And of course, with the support of Becker, we are able to bring their and turned out their dreams into reality in terms of what do they really need to know from the CPA preparation standpoint. Now, what do you get, in terms of, FinTram Becker CPA support? सबसे पहले तो सर हमें Becker का approved content मिलता है, because we are the approved Becker partner. So you get what you really need for killing the exam in the best possible way. You get the exclusive CPA qualified faculty who will be working extensively with you on weekends. So in addition to the recorded sessions and the LMS जो आपको मिलने वाला है बेटा, आपको वीकेंड पे सीपीए के क्वालिफाइड सेशंस भी मिलते हैं, क्वालिफाइड सीपीएस के सेशंस भी मिलते हैं, जो आपको बहुत सारे डाउट वहीं क्लियर करते हैं, और they will provide you all the exam tips and tricks that you really need in terms of killing the exam in the best possible way. As I said, we will be giving you a free eligibility check. तो जिस भी बच्चे को जानना है कि मैं eligible हूं या नहीं हूं, फटाफट से reach out करो. FinTram team, I would really appreciate if you can put out our number onto the chat so that everyone is aware of it. And they can reach out to the respective counselors from the CPA standpoint to get their free eligibility check done. Once that is done, then we'll support you in the evaluation service. Whether it is NASBA, whether it is WES, we are very closely knitted with them. So we can tell you in terms of what exactly you need to do from the purpose of getting yourself evaluated. So we'll help you out on that. And once that is done, then comes पढ़ाई बच्चा. फिर तो खूब सारी पढ़ाई करनी है. we will get the right content, right study material. अब तो हमने सब कुछ दे दिया, right? अब आपको हमारे साथ पढ़ाई करनी है. And once that is done, then you get the right, I would say we will do some kind of mocks with you in terms of making sure that you're prepared for that, and we'll give you a review on that. कि बेटा ये areas हैं जिस पे आपको मेहनत करनी है, काम करना है. And of course, once that is done, then comes the placement. So you will be giving, I would say, anything that the best piece about CPA is कि demand CPA की ज़्यादा है supply से. So placement is really taken care by FinTram. So you'll be placed in various companies that we work with. So we have students also coming from various corporates, and of course the placements also happens in these corporates once you have qualified, and of course you have done your bit, and you can certainly start your career with the flying colors, being part of all of those big corporates. सर खर्चा कितना होने वाला है, दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट ना सर. हमें ये भी तो पता होना चाहिए कि हमें कितना पैसा खर्च करना है सीपीए करिकुलम में. तो ये स्लाइड बेटा आपको बिल्कुल क्लैरिटी देगा कि in terms of what is the total expense that you would need to incur. In totality, I can tell you the total expense of doing CPA is $3,000 is something that you would approximately be paying to AICPA or NASBA as the case may be. जहाँ जो आपका एग्जाम फीस होता है, इंटरनेशनल टेस्टिंग फीस का कंपोनेंट होता है, इवैल्यूएशन फीस होता है, एप्लीकेशन फीस होता है, एंड ऑफ कोर्स दीज फिगर्स कीप्स चेंजिंग. सो by state by state change करेगा and so on and so forth, but approximately $3,000 to $3,200 is something that pay in terms of ensuring that you get all the things done from the AICP or NASPA standpoint. But once you have done that, or while you will do that, you would also need to prepare preparatory fees that FinTram Becker really charges, and that is approximately 1,10,000 rupees is something that will be charging you in terms of really making you prepared to hit the exam in the best possible way. But guys, there is what we are doing right now is that, we are providing, most of our students a special benefit right now, wherein you can start out your US CPA, by paying just ₹7,990, and rest of that, is really being taken care with very affordable, I would say, EMIs, and of course there is scholarship elements to it. You can reach out to us. The number is being given over here, and of course, details are given in the chat box. You can reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to tell you as to how you can really proceed on with that. Guys, there's a limited period offer there, so you have to make it fast to make sure that you're not missing out on that offer, and really take all that, because we only have limited seats left for that. Now, this brings me to the end, guys. This effectively circles down, what we intended to cover from the CPA curriculum standpoint as far as 2024 is concerned. We have given you the details of us in terms of the number, and of course, you can reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to chat on and give you what exactly you need in terms of hitting the exam in the best possible way. Any question, guys, anyone may have, we'll be more than happy to really, take that through.
I think
So I'm just reading the few questions that are there in the chat. Which study material we can refer? Omkar asked this. Starting actually CPA preparations. Omkar, you don't need any study material. All that you need is the content that we'll be providing, and that is gonna be the Bible for you. That is what you'll be referring, and that is what you really need, guys. One thing more I really want to call out: many of the folks who are somewhat somewhere. Not that much close to studies as of now, because बहुत सारा time हो गया काम करते हुए, तो अब I'm not that close to curriculum, I'm not that close to study. For them, what we have done is that we have created a course which really talks on the basics of financials or basics of accounting. That is the course needed to make sure that we are able to brush up your concept. मैंने accounting को brush up कर देना है, मैंने final accounts को brush up कर देना है, मैंने concept को आपके brush up कर देना है, to make sure that you are able to hit the exam in the best possible way and start the preparation. So that basics of accounting course is available with FinTram, and what we are doing right now in the scholarship offer is that we are offering that free of cost to anyone who will be registering with us. So in case you want that kind of a support being provided to you, so you can reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help you out there. Will you share recording after the call? Yes, we will be sharing, so don't worry on that. By doing US CPA course, can anyone work in India? Absolutely yes. I used to work in India. I was the finance head for Wipro, for BCG, for BlackRock, and guys, I was just CPA, so you can certainly do that. Or go to US for job purpose. Absolutely. This is a global passport, guys. This really opens up your gates to get into any corporates, and these corporates have their various IJPs coming out in the international occasions. So you can certainly reach out to them, and they'll be more than happy to take you with the open hands. In fact, guys, we were in a corporate giving presentation, and me and Aziz both were there, and one of the questions that came up there was that they wanted to apply for the IJP because that company had a base in Europe and US. So they wanted कि sir हमें we most of the IJPs जो आती है ना, वहाँ पे CPA मांगे जाते हैं, and हमारे पास CPA नहीं होता. तो अगर वो हमारे पास हो, तो we can really shift our base to to, let's say, California, to New York, and so on and so forth. So all that we need is that we have to study this and know this, and ensure that we are not missing on to it. So if in case you need anything, don't worry, guys. There are a lot of openings waiting for you in US. You just have to complete this and of course move forward.
Yeah, Pankaj, I might just add, and I'm glad you asked that question, because we all have our dreams and aspirations and those type of things. But first and foremost, I think we're sitting here, you're sitting there in India. You should be confident that the CPA qualification means something and means a lot in India. And that's the key thing. And you can just go on like any, job search website, all of these things, and you will see CPA there. And more importantly, you will see CPA as a premium. It's something that's in high demand. That number of CPAs, people pursuing CPA in India has literally like, वो curve इस तरह का है, literally. One, because There's two or three reasons, right? One is, those unfortunate people who had to go all the way to like beach in California to sit their exams 10 years ago, like Mr. Pankaj here. वो तो ये कहते हैं कि अरे बहुत मुश्किल था 15 दिन ये वो आराम से बीच पर कर रहे होंगे, ये वो. But we don't need to worry about doing that anymore, right? That's made it a lot easier, more in demand. But more than that, because लोग फिर भी कर रहे थे. At that time, फिर भी कर रहे थे. इतनी मुश्किल थी to make it because it was so useful. Now, far more importantly than it being in India is quite simply the fact that the US is still, let's never forget this, the US is still the largest capital market in the world. It is the largest investor, foreign direct investment in India. You look at any major company, I'm sure that you'd all like to work for. Of course, there's those fantastic India companies, apne jo hai khud ke. Of course, we want to aspire to work for them. So they will also recognize and appreciate someone who's done a CPA. But other than that, the number of multinational companies and major accounting firms, top 20, 30, 40, 50 in the US are now here in India, servicing the US. Demand is huge. You get well recognized pay-wise. And then if you do still want to move to like Middle East, CPA is very well known, very well recognized. India, of course. US, of course. So think now, India mein kya hai? And there is little doubt about it. I'm sure you're here because you've heard of CPA, logo baat kar rahe uske bare mein, and that's why it is in fantastic demand right now. And it will be for the foreseeable future. There might be that 5-10 saal mein China is a bigger market and you might have to do Chinese CPA. Whoa, we'll worry about that later. But stick to US CPA.
Good one. Very well said. And I think, guys, this is something to be relished, that this course has a very high demand in India. And as Alisa rightly mentioned, go on Google and type CPA jobs in India. You'll get to know, you'll be astonished to seeing the number of jobs that are there and the kind of companies that are really hiring. All the dream companies, you would see their names on there. And that is the beauty of it. Satish asked, course duration, please. It generally takes, Satish, 12 to 18 months to complete entire CPA. I'm just taking 18 months, because, many of the times, you are skipping the exams because of your own quarter close or year close, depending upon if you're working or not. But अगर आपके पास time है, Satish, full-fledged इसको देने का, और आप कोई attempt miss नहीं करो, तो 12 से 15 महीने में CPA clear होके बच्चा बाहर आ जाता है. All right, guys, any questions anyone may have, feel free, guys, any question, FinTram team that is coming up on YouTube that you want to post out here? Any other questions, guys? Anyone have? I know we are just on time. I don't want to spoil the evening of, Aziz sir, but, in case you guys, because you have to reach out to FinTram team to know the exact pricing and everything on all the details. I've given you, there are some, some, I would say, additional benefits that are being provided. Like I said, let's say basics of accounting course and so on and so forth. So there are some additional benefits that are being provided right now. If you're thinking of registering for CPA, so do reach out to the respective counselor and they'll be more than happy to help you. The number is being provided any which ways. All right, I think we're very well covered and very well home. I would really want to take time to thank you, Aziz sir, for really taking out time, especially on a Saturday. I know, I was bit pushy on that but I really wanted you to be here because it really gives, all the students a very different level of confidence when, somebody who is experienced so much like yourself really come on over here and really talk about a qualification. It really matters a lot. So thank you very much, sir, for being here. We will be disturbing you as we go forward for many such sessions, but I'm sure, you don't mind, us doing that.
No, of course not. It's an absolute pleasure as always, Pankaj, working with you and the FinTram team, and more importantly, just speaking to, potential, the future of the accounting profession, basically. And I would just tell you all, look, you're already making the best first step anyway. Joining these sessions, understanding more about the prospects that are there for you. Keep on asking questions. I've seen that, in the chats there, putting the numbers and contact details there. Don't rush into this. Okay, there's a little bit of a rush to get the extra discount, but don't rush too much. Okay, make sure you understand exactly why you're doing this, and what the future is for you. Ask all the right questions, and I think once you do that, then just be focused. Listen to what your counselors and your teachers say at FinTram, and get the most out of the Becker course. You'll have a fantastic future, I have no doubt about it. And I'm glad to be here. Pankaj, feel free to pass my details on to everyone here as well. If there's any other questions on Becker's side, you know about it anyway, but my pleasure. All the best. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day and good luck with your future choices.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you, folks, for joining us. Thank you to all the students. And we'll be looking forward for many more such sessions. In case you are thinking about, enrolling, you have all the number and all the details being available. Reach out to us. We'll be more than happy. And if you want to see more such sessions, do subscribe to our channel, FinTram Global, and we'll be more than happy to support you in the best possible way. Thank you very much, guys. Wish you a very good evening.